Guys, so I just wanted to talk about Gizelle Bryant for a bit. After watching season 8 reunion part 2, I just have a couple of comments. So, but before I talk about Gizelle, aka the Black Lisa Rinna, about what I don't like about her, I want to talk about what I do like about her. Okay, she's a pretty woman. Can't deny her. She's a beautiful woman. She, regardless of if whether you think she can dress or not, she can't. Um, she's a very pretty woman. She knows she's a pretty woman, by the way. Gizelle is also seems like a really good mum. Okay, I don't know that for certain, but from what I see from her kids, how they behave, how they interact with each other on TV and social media, she seems like a really good mum. They really like her, and that is very commendable because not everyone likes their parents. Gizelle also seems to have good leadership skills. Say whatever you want about her, but she's kind of like the HBIC on the show. Well, we're one of them. As in, if a new girl comes on the show, they want Gizelle to like them. Or, do you know what I mean? Anytime there is a villain, the villain is usually against Gizelle. I don't know if that's from her time of being a first lady. I don't know if she gets those skills from her dad. From what I understand, he was like a leader in like the civil rights era. Again, I'm not American, guys, so if I get this wrong, please correct me. But she has leadership skills. People want, she's that girl, and that might be partially because she's a pretty girl, and and all that stuff, and who her dad was. I don't know, but that's just, you can't deny that. Now, having said that, I think in the context of this show, it's quite difficult to watch Gizelle, because I'm not saying that she's the only one on the show that has flaws, by the way, because all of them at some point in time have pissed me off. But for whatever reason, Gizelle gets away with her behavior, which helps her to perpetuate it even further going as the show has gone on. Andy doesn't hold her to account for whatever reason. Some of the other women don't hold her to account or give her a bly. So people like Robin stay up her bum. And production never seem to show or verify when people say something that Gizelle has done or said. And I feel like the only reason why it was confirmed last week that she said made me and implied there was like a force or whatever behind this whole Chris thing, because Candice had to literally look at the producers and say, am I going mad? Like, she said that, and even then she didn't apologize, or she wasn't asked to apologize. Like, this is what I don't understand. And then with this whole colorism thing, the thing about colorism is, a lot of the time within the Black community, and again, I'm not American, so it might come up as different in different Black cultures, but I'm British, okay? There's definitely colorism in the UK Black community, and I'm African as well, as in, like, my background is African, and there's definitely colorism up in there, okay? So within that, you can't tell me Gizelle, that is educated, her dad being who he is, doesn't understand that some of the things on the show, or way the show is portrayed and edited and things like that, doesn't perpetuate colorism. Okay, it's not a comfortable conversation to have, especially if you benefit from colorism. Okay, it might not be a nice thing to hear, but you do. Okay, and this episode was really frustrating because in times Wendy and Candice were kind of, it's like they were defeated. Candice, she's usually sharp with her mouth, but this reunion, she hasn't really been as vicious, and I feel like she's purposely holding back because she's gonna get the edit of the angry Black dark skinned woman. Because someone like Karen has called Gizelle basically everything but a child of God. Remember, was it 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago when she said, you were a hoe from Hampton, you had a hot box, insinuating that she had an STD. She's also, Karen has also talked about maybe the fact that Gizelle has had multiple sexual partners and things like that. But when Wendy said something, when she came at you for talking about her husband and how she looks and things like that, after, because of the cheating rumors, and she read you for filth, I think that was season 6, you have not wanted to move on from her at all. But Karen has said some horrible things to you. Ashley has said some. I mean, I can't think of what Ashley has said now, but Ashley's just a trifling person, so I'm sure she said something. But you managed to make up amends with them and have respect for them, but you don't have respect for someone like Wendy or a Candice. And most of the time, it's in retaliation to stuff that you do. Also, Gizelle is on a show called Real Housewives. She's not a housewife, but she was at one point. She doesn't want to talk about her relationship, and I understand that, you know, but at the same time, you're on a show and you talk about other people's marriages. So, I mean, you would think that we're talking about your relationship. But I understand it. That whole Sherman thing, she was very embarrassed by it all. I can understand. I had to go back and watch clips because I didn't really remember Sherman that well. And I went back to watch clips, and it seems like she was ready to like live with him and integrate their families and everything. And it's like she never forgave Monique for bringing up the fact that he had an indiscretion in the park. You know, and obviously when there was an opportunity to get rid of Monique, she jumped at the chance and used Candice to do it. Yeah, guys, I just think that this show, it needs a jig. It needs a rejig, just like New York was rejigged, just like Atlanta's been rejigged. I mean, even Miami. Obviously, everything is for different reasons, but Miami got a whole half of the cast when new cast came, and it's been thriving. Okay, I just feel like Gizelle being allowed to continue the way she continues is not making it for enjoyable watching. It's not. It's giving secondary school, high school, mean girl, you know, head of the cheerleading team, or do you know what I mean? Like, do you know that kind of? It's just not nice to watch, guys, and it's frustrating for me seeing it. I'm not, again, of course, from my accent, you can tell I'm not American, I'm British. And it's just frustrating to see that you guys are allowing this to happen. I don't get it. And the fact that I'm hearing things that Wendy might not be coming back, or, you know, so you're trying to tell me it's going to be all light-skinned people, and Neka, who is a GEB bumlicker, is going to be the cast going forward. If that's the case, you guys are never beating the allegations of colorism or pandering to Gizelle. And I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Gizelle is not an evil person, but clearly she has very petty and sometimes malicious ways. Like this show was probably is probably her currency. Like, she enjoys being the HBIC. She enjoys being on TV and things like that, which is fine. A lot of them do, but don't get to a point where you think you're bigger than the show, or you're bigger than the group of people you're in. Because I don't think as a show by yourself you could carry it. You need these people around you to do the show. And I used to like Gizelle. I used to think that Karen was unfair to her. I thought Charisse was sometimes unfair to her, but she just became a monster after that Sherman thing. And it's like the trauma of everything that whatever she went through with Jamal came back and made her into a more vicious person. But I feel the show can be saved, but Gizelle needs to be taken down a peg or two. I don't know how, but she needs to. If the show is going to continue, she needs to. And people like, this will never happen, she'll never get fired, or X, Y, and Z. If they can reboot in New York, if they can you know, get rid of someone like Vicky, Lisa Rinna, all these people that are staples in their franchises, Gizelle is not special. She's not. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what we're going to see next week. I bet it's that Nigerian-ish. And I'm as a Nigerian, I don't want this whole witchcraft and thing. It's just, I don't want to see it. So, Andy and whoever is producing the show, you guys need to do something, because I can't.